Excellent. Test stream is alive. If you're watching this in the future, I don't know. Just trying out a few new settings here. I think, I don't have a webcam set up or anything like that. It's like something that I don't know. I struggle with it. I need to get a new one. My old one is old. I got it. I think I got my old webcam when I first started streaming. Like, what was that? Like 70 years ago or something? I don't even remember. I should look back and see when I started streaming. I'm going to guess it was like 2017, 2016, 2018, somewhere in there. I'm going to guess it's like 2017 to 2018. And then probably, started streaming is all very wishy-washy because it's like, it's been so hard to be consistent. But I think like somewhere in there, like off and on. And then definitely like the Spire stuff probably started to pick up around 2019 to 2021-ish, somewhere in there. It's like so distinctly remember doing my master's degree, working and streaming all at the same time, and pushed myself a little hard to do all that stuff. And that's when I got to partner and all that, which was a great ride. Anyway, the purpose of like this whole test stream is just to see if I can get it to work. So I built a new computer a couple months ago, and it's a big reason why I kind of hit the pause button on streaming for a little while again. It's really tough because so much of streaming is, blocking out, like think of streamers you watch frequently, like probably blocking out 4 to God knows how many hours, right? Like, but probably like 4 hours, I would say, is a pretty solid stream. Maybe you could do like 3, I guess, during the week or something, but usually to get something out of streaming, meaning like whatever that is, not money, but like get like interactions with people, get people to show up consistently and say hello. You got to be around, people get in routines. You like what you like. So I built a new computer, and the worst part about any new computer is like I have to basically get all my settings from OBS to the bot to even like the back end stuff of Twitch, get all of that over to a new computer, and then somehow click go live. And it's just everything. It's my Go XLR, it's the OBS, it's just all this nonsense. So, I like was plugging around in that a little bit today, and I was like, why don't I just see if it'll even work? So this is the whole point of this is really just to see if this will even work and what more I need to tweak. So a lot of stuff is absent. So there's no chat bot. I had a local chat bot on my old computer, and the old computer still exists, but I just like don't want to hook it back up. It's just to get that off of there. So maybe that'll come. Maybe I even offloaded it to a hard drive before I unplugged everything. I don't remember. Anyway, I had been meaning to go to a cloud-based bot anyway, instead of having the locally hosted one. Like in the earlier days, in 2017-ish or whenever I started streaming, having a local bot was like a huge boon. And then over the years, it definitely shifted to be like, why would you ever have a local bot? Just like put it in the cloud, get a night bot kind of deal. So maybe I'll do that. It's been like a to-do. I have a whiteboard next to my desk here, and like on there it literally says cloud bot. I can see it now. It's like a to-do item that I wrote on there probably a year ago. So anyway, settings seem good so far. We'll probably do a few runs here on DRGS because I was going to do that anyway, and it being very early afternoon right now, I don't mind committing a few hours to just kind of like hanging out and checking some stuff out before trying to get outside, get a little walk in. And then, I don't know, probably like this evening, I'll probably play some Arc Raiders with friends. I've been super, super into Arc Raiders recently. It's kind of my go-to evening game, and it's been a ton of fun. It's like the thing that always kept me around in Tarkov for however many hundreds of hours was like no game really makes you feel the way those games feel. Like I think I'm not a big horror game guy, but people always play these around the holiday or not the holidays, but like Halloween, and it's like the feeling of the game is making you scared or frightful. It's like it's this kind of like idea and Ark and Tarkov in these games, like they make you feel like when you have a good item in your inventory, you're like, I need to get out of here. And then if somebody kills you at the last second while you have that good item, you feel this like devastation in a way. Like it's just, but then when you do get out, you just sneak out, you barely make it out, like you start telling stories about these things. And I think the storytelling nature of those games is probably, that it's all within the realm of, the constant like sinusoidal back and forth, had a great run, had a bad run, up, down, up, down, up, down, the oscillations, I guess, of those experiences that kind of keep you coming back. And then the next day you're like, we had this run and then this happened and then this happened. And, like I could probably rant for the next hour about all these like random little raids we've had that just, they're not really worth the oxygen, but it's interesting to, like how those games feed into the storytelling nature of like humans. Like people love telling stories. Humans by nature are storytellers. That's what it is. That's what communication really is. We're just constantly trying to tell people ideas, thoughts, experiences, whatever. Likes telling stories. I gotta figure out what I need to do in this game before I get a little too ranty. You give me a microphone and brother, I can go for a while. Let's see here. I need to get 4 weapons to level 21 as the Tinkerer. I do not enjoy the Tinkerer. Let's see. It's one of these guys. There he is. One of my least favorites because he starts with the Warthog gun, and the Warthog gun is ass. Let's see. So we got to get... We need XP. XP is going to be a big one. So let's just see. I do have an item with plus XP on there right now. But possible. I actually don't hate this boon. 30% pickup radius when the drop pod arrives. You're just trying to pick up all that extra stuff. That's pretty nice, actually. I just generally like the move speed when upgrading armor, because usually you do end up upgrading armor occasionally. All right, that's fine. This guy's got tons of XP gain. Cool. We'll just keep that on. Mining speed for every meta resource. Okay. Probably swap over to this guy. You just upgrade him. I think I got a legendary item or 2, and I just spent a bunch of my credits, but hasn't really been something I've been struggling with. I picked up this game very early on. I just love these types of Survivor-esque games, and it's quickly become one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I feel like Vampire Survivors, when it first came out, was so huge. I played a ton of it, and then it quickly fell off. I don't know. I just kept adding more and more stuff, but I kept wanting to use the same characters in a way. I don't know how to describe, but I had my favorites, and then they kept, the new zones were very cool. The new enemies were okay, but I felt like they cooked a little hard on a lot of the items, where maybe that's what people wanted. Maybe that's what drove people to buy more copies. I don't know, but I felt like there was a lot of improvement that could have been done on some of the base weapons in Vampire Survivors. Whereas here in DRGS, I think there's just so much good already baked in that I don't really feel like I'm really missing anything. And I've been super happy with the things that they've put into the game so far. Let's see, you have XP. You do not have XP, but definitely don't want that. My bitrate is showing red on Twitch, but green in OBS. So I really don't know what to believe. Okay, well, I think that's probably fine. I've just been we want to go to plus 15 XP gain, so Crystalline Caverns is going to be great. I think think we could probably get away with like half of that in Azure Weld, but I think we're going to need like as much XP gain as we can possibly get. I'm trying to finish my breakfast here. Breakfast lunch. Started doing intermittent fasting a while ago, quite a while ago. And it was working really well for me. And maybe it is. It's hard to tell. I've just kind of plateaued on weight, and I haven't been super consistent with exercise or anything like that, though. Though I do really enjoy it. I always feel better when I've been exercising and what have you. So, but anyway, so I kind of like, I got in this bad habit. I was only eating from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., so an 8-hour window, and then you're not eating for, 16 of those hours. And I got in this bad habit of like 11 would come around, and then I'd have like essentially a breakfast, and then, by like noon, I'd be having lunch. So I'd just be like slamming in 2 meals into this short period of time. And I think that's kind of the idea, is you're not truncating the amount of calories you're taking in. You're just kind of like tightening the window in which you're consuming them. So it's interesting. And it definitely like worked for a long time to prevent me from snacking. Like I would see that it was after 7 p.m. and I'd be like, I'm not going to have, a couple pretzels or whatever, because it's after 7 and I don't eat after 7. So that worked really well. And I think outside of the caloric restriction, the timing window restriction, not so much the caloric restriction, I guess, the discipline of like, it's not 11 yet, or it's after 7, I think is what worked for me in the end. So anyway, I feel like this bitrate thing on Twitch is just like not updating, or it's broken, or I think it's indicating that it's under 6,000, and I want to be at 6,000. It's like 5927. There we go. It's back to green. It's over 6,000. Who freaking knows, man? Okay, so Tinkerer, 4 weapons to level 21. All weapons start at level 3. So you can kind of think about this as like get level 18 on 4 guns in a way. It's the same number of clicks, right? So that's in it of itself is, it's not necessarily hard to do, but you do have to like be more purposeful about it and not go over 18 or what'll be 21 here. So it's kind of it's not the most challenging challenge. We get plus 10% XP gain just from being the Tinkerer, and then I have that at level 5, so we're getting 8% there, 15% on the map, and then all the gear stuff that we just loaded out. So if we really wanted to cook, like maybe, I don't even know if it's possible on Hazard 1, but probably like Haz 4 would be ideal. You still get tons of bugs for the XP without the nonsense of Hazard 5 sometimes, but I think we'll go Hazard 5. We're going to do a few things to try to get us to level 21 on everything, which is going to be mostly keeping our... Yo, what up, GTF? Mostly keeping our gold around and not spending in the shops outside of like rerolls. Unlikely that we'll need it for heals, because we're going to need it to reroll the weapon upgrades to try to get everything to level 21. So by the time we get our 4th weapon, that's when things are going to get a little bit hairy, just because we can't, like, the one thing in this game that you can't do that you see in other Survivor-like games is you don't get like the banish mechanic. So in other Survivor games, if you have a certain upgrade that you're tired of seeing, you can just banish it and not see it again. And maybe that takes one of your upgrades, but it concentrates your pool for later on, right? So it makes sense in that context. But here you can't do that. So by the time you get your 4th weapon, you're constantly, like if you're trying to get this thing into level 21, you're going to have to see upgrades for your other 3 guns on top of all the other miscellaneous stuff as well. So this might take a few tries, just because there's a bit of RNG involved. And frankly, we're starting with the Warthog, which just is not my favorite thing ever. It does really good damage. Oh, we kind of just need that though. It does really good damage, but it only fires in front. So yes, you can take out waves, but if you're trying to like play the game, like mine, get the gold, then you're just gonna kind of be crept up on constantly. At level 18, you can get this thing forget if this wants reload or fire rate. I should pay attention. It's fire rate. By the time you get to level 18, you do get sure, a thing that allows it to fire it back. I think it's like akimbo or something like that. So that'll be nice. The stubby is great. So it's gonna hit enemies that are close to us. Supply electrocute, which increases our crit chance, I believe, against them or something like that. But at least it's a gun that fires while I'm busy putzing around with this like gold stack. Plasma's awesome. I do really like 50% weapon range on this as well, but plasma is going to allow our bullets to hit off the walls in front of us and then fly backwards. So in essence, when we're doing stuff like this, you know, it's going to bounce off the walls and then actually do something. This guy. But otherwise, we're just going to be cooking here. Amazing upgrade, but we desperately need the levels. So it really ties into what I was talking about earlier about like we have to get these things upgraded now because by the time we get to our 4th gun, it's going to be very hard to get our upgrades on these other guys here. So again, I would love 9 armor. Don't get me wrong. Potency. There we go. Ancient knowledge for 3 levels. It is up against the magnet, though. I think we cook with the magnet a little better, especially this early. It probably represents more than 3 levels. So maybe we'll even think about saving some nitra to reroll for this later. But I think nitra in the shops is going to equal levels on our guns. I'm not sure we're allowed to do that. Okay, so there's a subtleness to this screen that is a little more complicated than it seems. So as soon as we take a second gun of a damage type, so we have electrical here and plasma here now, we're going to start seeing plasma upgrades. Meaning like plus damage to plasma guns or whatever. So that makes our upgrade pools a little more dilute. We're going to have a harder time getting to 21 of each. However, I don't really want to reroll here. But I probably should. I mean, breach cutter's fine. I don't mind it at all. We should do the wise thing. Excuse me. Take a Connecticut. Dude, I love both of these guys here. I'm nearing the end of my time with DRGS. I think I have like 20 some achievements left, and then I'll probably put it to bed for a little while. It's been so good though. It's like I don't feel like I need to not play it anymore. It's just, you know, like I'll have accomplished the goals that I set out to do. And I don't mind that at all. Okay, so here's a chance to reroll, I guess. Don't really want to, but sure. Be a little careful as well, because like there's a lot of I think one of my bigger complaints, gripes, points of criticism for this game so far, sidearm's pretty good, is that the pacing doesn't quite feel right, especially at Hazard 5. Like I think the game is trying a little too hard to stress you for time, and what that ends up looking like though is that you don't have enough time to do everything on a map. So, I mean, you could argue that that's by design and that's what they want you to do, but it just kind of feels bad. Like, I want to explore more of the map. Like, I want to see more of the stuff. I want to have time to mine everything. And you just can't. So we're kind of trading a bit of our time, a bit of our risk reward assessment here, to try to get a little more resource out of the map before we move on. Certainly with what we're trying to do here, just getting out as soon as possible probably doesn't allow us to have the most long-term success. Oops, hate that. Sure. Okay. So same idea with kinetic. So if we take another kinetic weapon, we'll have the same problem. But I think we're just going to have to do that. Excuse me for just a second. Okay. Playing the game. I mean, you can tell that the Warthog cooks when you get him on it. I mean, this is like... It's a tough call. We weren't trying so hard to go for this singular goal. Probably wouldn't do that. I mean, look at the difference. 50% across the board versus some fire rate. Come on. Guess I got to be careful to not go over level 21 on the weapons as well. I think that'll be as much of a problem. Hey, Draco. Change to electrical. I don't think that helps us. We'll just go with this guy. If I could change a kinetic weapon to be non-plasma, non-electrical, which I don't think the LMG can. I think that LMG upgrades to electrical and plasma. I think that's... Can't do fire, can't do acid. Okay. Keep doing this. 16 bucks. So again, we're going to hold on to our gold so we can reroll for more weapon upgrades as we try to get them all to 21. Just for the dopamine, just for the, you know, the sake of it, just for saying that we did. We have the Steam achievement and they can't take that away from us. Someday, centuries from now, when my non-existent great-great-grandchildren inherit my Steam account, they'll look back at Deep Rock Galactic Survivor and say, wow, great-grandpappy Dane got level 21 on the Tinkerer's with 4 different weapons. And they'll know how great I was. What's it all mean, man? What's it all for? Maybe it's not for anything. I feel like if we get plasma on the LMGs, then we're really cooking. That's one of my more favorite combos in the game. Is on these turrets, you can get them so when they hit the walls, it like starts to break down the walls. You do damage to terrain, and having that in your toolkit and holy shit, just dying. Hold on, these guys wreck me. These long arm boys, these purple boys here. They have ruined many of my runs. They're just so like subtle about it. And I mean, when you're looking right at them, it's not so subtle, but you're just like running around. The hitbox on these guys is just huge. Anyway. I forgot what I was talking about now, but I'm certain it didn't matter. Oh, favorite combos. So yeah, so this guy, so doing some amount of damage to the terrain changes the game a lot. I think initially the game is so focused on trying to kill the bugs that it can be easy to lose sight of how important it is to deal damage to the terrain, open up the terrain so you don't get surrounded and you have places to go and all this stuff, right? So when you upgrade the turrets with doing damage to the walls, you can also get plasma. So the plasma starts bouncing around. So the projectile bounce will then hit multiple walls, and just joy and elation comes as all walls are then destroyed before you, doing minimal effort. But you can kind of like see it every once in a while, like a stray bullet will hit a wall and it just helps. It just softens it up a little bit. As is, it's probably not destroying too much terrain, but it's definitely opening the way for us to do it more easily and get trapped less. So you can get them on, yes, this LMG guy, the turret, but you can also get it on, say, like grenades and stuff. It's just nice to have it in your toolkit. Not messing with that purple boy there. We're just healing. We've just begun the healing process. This is just some blue item that will sell for credits later. Maybe I should throw some warthog shots in these guys. I can kind of sense that we're behind the curve a little bit now because we've been not taking the best options possible just to get some upgrades. Meanwhile, none of our guns are quite at level 18 yet, so we don't have that top end overclock. Whatever they're called. And if we don't do it now, it's going to be really hard to do it when we're at threat level 6 or something like that, because we just won't be able to turn around as well. We'll be constantly trying to like dodge bugs. Then we're relying on the smart rifle and the stubby, etc., to do damage to the enemies when they may not target them. Again, like reload speed really isn't the problem with this. I like the idea of just getting it done. Okay, we're rolling. Rolling. We're cringing because we really want that 15 armor. Plasma. Amazing. Okay, so we have the god combo. Okay, threat level 2. See, like, this guy's just not... He's just not taking damage. We're in a little bit of trouble here. There are many weapons in the game where they feel terrible to throw upgrades into until later. And then, like the Zhukovs, great example. Zhukovs, they shoot in 4 directions. They kind of suck because you're not shooting in all the other directions. You know, like you're not really doing damage. that well. But then you get like this the spiral at level 18. You know, it shoots in essentially all directions, and you're like, oh, finally. And it all kind of comes together. Whereas the Warthog, you end up throwing all these levels into it, so you're not leveling up other stuff. And by doing that, you're making your kit worse. And then it gets to level 18, and you just like, you shoot behind you, which isn't really that strong. Definitely hit more, but it's not great. Okay, this is a terrible position. But fortunately, there's no terrain left. Come on, buddy. So close. There we go. Wow, we're cooking. Look at this. So there's a Kimbo, and then there's the mini pellets. Shotgun shells contain twice as many pellets, but they do less damage. We're going to Kimbo. Yes. +3. All right. So the job isn't done. Remember, we got to get these to 21 still.
Feels rare. Feels right.
Take one of those.
I rarely pick one of these. Let me try again. I can use this. Overclock, my favorite type of clock.
Yeah, I think I got to invest a little bit in our like general stats, because we're just getting we're behind the curve on damage. You can just tell, you can feel it, you can sense it after a while. But now we're destroying terrain. Like, we have a really good utility set, but not the survivability that we normally have. Skipping out on good armor, good health, that kind of stuff. Here we go. Now we're cooking. But anyway, other than that, I guess I don't remember the last time I was streaming. We were doing Monster Train, which I was really enjoying. I haven't played it since I built my new computer, because I just wasn't really playing it when I wasn't streaming it. So still where I was, and I know they released a released a really nice patch update, content update, whatever. So I look forward to revisiting that at some point. It's one of those games where I think, you know, by the last time I was kind of streaming it, I didn't feel like I had seen everything, but I was like, okay, I kind of see what I have to do. You know, you identify the stronger combos, and, you know, trying to eke out those individual wins on runs where you don't get what you want is maybe where some of the fun starts to come in. Yes. Shoot at 20. Almost done with that guy. Yeah, that's been good. Got my PC built. I've been doing a lot of photography stuff still. Birding, that's been excellent. Birding kind of found me. I wasn't like, not like a natural birder. Not really like, I've never in my life gone on my way to like observe birds. You know, like, it's not really what I was going for, but getting into photography, enjoying landscape and wildlife photography and what have you, like, kind of just somewhat naturally gravitate towards birds, because they're just everywhere and there's so many different types, and start to recognize those patterns and things like that probably draws people to them more naturally. So that's just been kind of a nice treat, and it's been a strange phenomenon getting into photography and being in a relatively populous area And it's just something about having a camera in your hands that makes people feel like they can talk to you in a way. I'm a tall guy with a furrowed brow, naturally. A little bit of RBF, if you know what I mean. And like people don't really talk to me like just out and about. It's not specific to me. I think people mostly just mind their own business. Like, I don't know, especially in it's kind of a strange thing. Like if you grew up in any kind of small towns or whatever, like, me growing up in the Midwest, people are, I mean, I don't know about more friendly, but they'll at least pretend, like they'll say good morning or wave at you or whatever. Like they'll acknowledge that you exist. Strange phenomenon when you move to more populous areas. People tend to like be less engaging. Like people don't really say hello. People just like mind their own business, but there's more people around. So it's kind of strange. Like there's a weird inverse relationship to the number of people around and how friendly everyone's going to be. But anyway, like when I'm out and about with a camera, for whatever reason, people love to ask me questions. Like they get so innately curious. Like, what are you taking photos of? Now, I'm not taking photos of people, so it's not like accusatory in any way. It's just like, what is that? Like I've had many people stop and say like, what kind of bird is that? And I've had people like take out their phones and start taking pictures of the thing that I'm taking pictures of because they think it must be interesting. And like you can just kind of tell, you just kind of know that they wouldn't otherwise be taking photos of that thing, or maybe they wouldn't have noticed it. And I don't know, they think it's more remarkable than maybe it is because somebody else is taking the time to take a more professional photo of it or something. I don't really know how to describe. But there is definitely like, it was like last Sunday, almost a week ago now, I was out just in my neighborhood, just doing a quick walk, and the Amazon delivery driver, the Prime driver or whatever, he's like up in the Rivian Prime van or whatever, and he rolls down the window and he goes, "What kind of camera is that?" And I've been asked this many times now, and I think people again are like, they see a piece of professional equipment and they're like, "What is that?" And you don't know where they're coming in. So do you just say it's digital versus film? Do you say it's, well, I don't know, whatever. Like, do you describe the lens? Do you like, what do you do? Like, what are they looking for? It's part of the puzzle. And there's like, I have this like kind of innate hesitation when people ask me this question, just because I'm like, ugh, like I don't know you. I don't really know what you know. I don't want to ask. Like I'm out trying to do my own thing, I'm minding my own business. But anyway, the guy ends up being like a full-on photographer who was just doing like delivery for Amazon part-time on the weekends. And he said he used to photograph a bunch of like Hindi and some other kind of weddings. There's a lot of large Indian population out here, so a lot of those types of weddings to go photograph. And anyway, he said he like, he hasn't. I asked him about the wedding stuff and how he got into it. I guess I'm not interested at all. It's like honestly torturous. I don't even like going to weddings to begin with. If I had to go to random people's weddings and be there, oh my god, that's like, can I do anything else with my day? Can I nap and just wake up 6 hours later and just skip that portion of life? Like I'd rather just literally not be conscious than go to some other random's wedding. Anyway, and he said like when COVID hit, the wedding thing kind of, went by the wayside. People weren't doing it. And then now years later, I mean, it's 2020, almost 2026, brother. Like you could start it up again if you wanted to, which was part of what I was saying in a nicer way. But long story short, it's just like we're having this full-on conversation with a guy that would have never initiated conversation with me if I didn't have a camera in my hand, which is just kind of it's a bizarre recurring thing. And I don't know, man. It's just like, it's kind of neat in one way, but on the other hand, I'm also just trying to like mind my own business, enjoy my own day, and I don't know. Am I ever going to talk to the Dylan, the Amazon delivery driver, again? I mean, I hope so. He's a super nice guy. I mean, we clearly have something in common, but I don't know. Like I remember his name. something. But it is odd. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I was a couple of years ago, like if I'd had so I was walking around with a basketball in my hands, people weren't coming to like, hey, do you play the sport of basketball? You know, like what kind of basketball is that? People aren't asking me those kinds of questions, but it was something with the camera, man. Like we've never had more access to high power cameras in all of human history. Like everyone in their pocket has, oh shit, a camera that's like pretty damn powerful. Maybe it's not a zoom lens, but you know, macro photography, landscape, whatever. Like you just go do it whenever you want to and take professional level photographs at this point. It's pretty amazing. Oh shit! Actually, no. Fuck. I probably needed to use that. Okay, we have a choice here. So we are 5 levels off from getting this. We have 1 level left to go. Can potentially get 3 of them here, but my god, we like so desperately need damage, which is what this is. This is like 31% crit. That is a bit of a risk, but we have $300 in the bank. So I'm just going to do that. Oh. It's a cool 31% chance to double your damage. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult. Oh my god. The favorite. Definitely not. Got some... I mean, as much as I think we have sidearm. Don't we have sidearm on this? We do have sidearm. So pairing like sidearm with the favorite is really, really good. Because they're getting a damage bonus from sidearm and then becomes more powerful. Please, God, have mercy. There we go. We don't even need to win. We just need to get this other guy to 21. It'd be nice to win. I'll take the win. But, you know, eyes on the prize and all that. Stay diligent. Stay focused. There we go. One more. Should not be this close to the wall. So this is 10% crit. This is 2 rerolls. I guess we'll take the 2 rerolls. Where's the drop out? There we go. Yeah, we're level 66. That is quite high. Oh my god. He's done it. Now we can play the game. The great-grandchildren will remember this moment. There's another one that's more people have than this one, which is 300 armor on the Juggernaut, which I just am not sure how to accomplish, really. There's a piece of armor that gives you, or yeah, a piece of gear, rather, that gives you armor when leveling up max HP, I think. So there's like 2 mechanisms to get additional armor right there. But I feel like if you're upgrading just health and armor, you're not upgrading damage, of course. So I don't really know. I mean, there's a bunch of artifacts that give you percent based armor, so you got to get those as well, I'm sure. And then the Juggernaut's whole thing is his damage goes up, or his, like, I don't know, his base feature or whatever, I don't know what to call them. His thing is whenever he takes damage, he gets a stacking damage increase. So I guess the shtick is to get a bunch of armor and health, and then just kind of like purposefully take a bunch of damage to increase your damage output. It's super jank though. Like, just doesn't sound amazing to me. See if we can get some more crit here. Crit chance is 61%. Back when they first introduced those artifacts, there were only a couple of them, or I think you had to unlock some. And it was the classic kind of pitfall of these types of survivor games where unlocking more stuff often makes your runs weaker because you just like get more garbage, more just like stuff. And before they had all these unlocks, there were like 2 of them you could get all the time, and one of them was this nitro one, which is giving you crit when you have nitra, and then the other one, I think it's like called gold-plated bullets or something like that, where the more gold you have, the more damage you have. It's like every 5 gold is 1% more damage or something like that. So you would pretty much every single run get 100% crit and then this kind of like incremental damage increase as you get more and more gold. So you would just never spend money or resource, right? So you just have a ton of nitra and gold. You wouldn't spend anything in the shop because why would you? Like, you already have plus whatever percent damage. Well, hey, gain 3 levels is back. We can absolutely do this. Minus mining speed, plus damage, plus reload. Like, there's nothing left to mine anyway. So, sure. Oh my god, look at how slow we mine. It doesn't tell me. 5% for every overclock. So we have 3 each. So we have 12. So that's minus 60% mining speed. We can see our sum total over here, 44. A little trapped back here. I feel like we don't have a super strong carry weapon or something. Something ain't right. Hey, you can see like on the mini-map in the top left here, like there's no real walls left. And that's all because of our turrets here. Holy shit. And those twins. Alright, that is an incredibly niche inside reference from several days ago. I think it was an old like Coors Light beer commercial or something like that from the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's we're just kind of making fun of, I don't know, aggressively masculine commercials from the early 2000s, late 90s. You know, like there's a lot of head scratchers in there, I guess. And there's, I don't even, like, I can't even, you just have to see it. It's just so comedically bad, trying to appeal to peak male culture or whatever. It's like, it's a football field and there's a bunch of cheerleaders, you know, short skirts and pom-poms or whatever, and then like several of the cheerleaders are twins, and then it's like some shitty country song overlaid on top of like people drinking Coors Light or something like that with these cheerleaders that are twins, and the whole like the hook of the song that's playing is like, and those twins or something like this. I don't know. It's just awful. But it is funny. Trying to hit this twin here. There's a melee one and a ranged one. There we go. We've pretty much evened out the health pools, so they won't go make out. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see throughout all of that. Ooh, legendary. Let's go. See throughout all of that. Like, we actually barely made the threshold on 21 on 4 weapons. That was, you know, purposely stacking our gear to have more XP, taking early XP upgrades. Not the easiest thing in the world. Probably not something that would happen unless you were actually going for it. According to Steam, only 0.6% of all gamers have this achievement. So we are in rare air. This one, I feel like I have that one. I don't. That is a new one. I have this one here, which is the armor when upgrading max HP. So this one is HP when upgrading armor and 10% armor. Okay, there we go. So I guess I need this. Perfect. It's weird that this only has 2, I don't know what to call them, 2 primary upgrades, 2 flat stat upgrades of max HP and armor. But yeah, that is for the Juggernaut, who somehow has no armor equipped. Okay.
Just look at that finish.
Cool. I think I got exactly what I needed to make that happen.
Let's get rid of some stuff.
And those twins. Twitch is spamming me with a bunch of garbage. Let's see here. In Deep Rock Galactic Survivors, I have 22 more achievements, and some of them are to just do this here, the lethal operation. Yeah, I think you got to complete it like 10 times, but I've done it. So I've done it twice. That's what this 2 is. I've done this twice as well. I just really just don't enjoy them at all. It's just not fun. And I appreciate a challenge, so glad that's in there, I guess. But it's like, I can't really hover over the stuff I want to talk about. But I feel like this is one of those things where, like, the modifiers they've introduced to make the game harder just don't lean into the fun parts of the game. They just make it, like, more clunky, and it just feels awful. Like, this one in particular, you mine 30% slower. We just saw 60%, so it's pretty significant. Minus 30% move speed, so you can't mine, you can't move. And then 20% reload speed reduction, so you can't you can't really fire that fast. And then you have no pickup radius for your dopamine crystals on the ground. So, like, look at, I mean, but you get 30% crit. Like, who cares? Like, I mean, it's just, okay. So you've made, like, almost every single aspect of the game less fun by taking away mining speed, move speed, reload, and pickup. Like, you can't really play the game, but you get 30% credit. So, like, yeah, it's just a challenge, right? There's some achievement tied to it. It's the winning these 10 times is the rarest one, I think, in the game, and I imagine it'll always be that way because they are also time gated. I think you only get 1 of these per week. You can see new lethal operation in 1 day, 8 hours, and I think you have to do 10 different ones, or at least that's my understanding of the achievement right now. Maybe not. It says complete 10, so I don't know. It's not clear if that's 10 different or if this number just has to say 10, but it is a super rare achievement. Salvage 10 overclocks in a single dive. Easy. Bounce 100 times in 1 stage. Oh my god, this is just annoying. But sure. Yeah, I got some fun ones. They're all going to be extremely targeted, though. Complete a dive with 4 precise weapons.
On grenades as we speak.
Hold on, I gotta, like,
Time to kill. It's always so
figure out what a...
here.
Oh, sure. Okay, that's not as bad as I initially thought it was gonna be. A lot of these are precise, actually. What does precise mean? Doesn't really mean. I mean, I don't understand what that. Like, this grenade launcher is precise, along with the sniper rifle and just like a general AR. Okay. Well, I mean, it's just a word. It's just a tag. I think for now, I'm just gonna go. I just really wanted to test a few settings out. Now I can go rewatch this VOD, check the audio and what have you, and just kind of see where we're sitting with a few things. So this was only ever going to be extremely short-lived. I thought maybe I would do 2 runs in here, but we won, and I kind of want to go outside. So I think I'm just going to do that. Monday is my birthday, so I'm just treating myself this weekend, since it's kind of like, as you get older, birthdays matter less, of course, and I think for me, celebrating on the day means a lot less. So I always push it to one weekend or the other. So this is kind of like, I guess, my birthday weekend in a way. Because after a week goes by, it doesn't really feel that way. Anyway, I appreciate you guys very much for at least clicking on the stream when you definitely didn't have to. But I appreciate you. Tic Tac and Draco, thank you so much for coming and saying hello. That's what it's all about. So I'll do my best to be back soon. I don't really know what that's going to look like. Again, just trying things out, making sure they work on my computer. Also had some problems with the new NVIDIA GPU that I got, as with many others. So I don't know. We'll see how things go. But thank you guys so much. We'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye.